Welcome back to the Telosive EV podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Good to have you back, Nick. You missed the ranking episode, the longest EV podcast.
I was really bummed that I missed that one because you guys had a lot of fun, and I have some rankings too. Most of all, the Cybertruck is A tier, S tier. Like, it's top of the A's.
It's not even in there.
It's the S tier of the A tiers. It exists in my heart, Mike. That's all that matters, okay? Nobody needs it in person as long as it exists in my heart and there's a promise for it to come soon.
We're going to redo the list.
On that list, I disliked the video and deleted the channel.
Whoops. Bye, everyone.
Well, it only had its channel for a very short time, but that's okay. It was anyways.
Fair in assuming Nick's ranking would be Cybertruck in Cybertruck tier, which is one above S.
Yes.
And everything else is F.
Everything else is in the Hummer EV tier, including the Model
Hummer
Y.
EV. Including the car you're getting soon.
What was the surprise is yesterday I was driving home and I saw basically every single car on that list. Which was
Were they just driving down the highway?
Yeah, it's all in order. Here comes the S tier.
There's a Y. Honestly, you probably did, huh? Because they kind of went in order of sales.
Well, the biggest surprise was I saw the Mini Cooper EV. I'm like, whoa.
Oh.
There's a Mini Cooper EV?
They're kind of hard to recognize, aren't they? They're very similar to the
they've got aero
non-EV.
caps. That's the only... That and the yellow accents really differentiate.
How could you tell they were aero caps? It must have not been moving.
Yeah, it wasn't moving. It was parked.
Okay. It was out of battery because the range was so low. That's probably what
I did also see a smart car right before that. And then I think one car that maybe we forgot on the list was the Fiat 500e because I thought I saw one.
Dang it. We got to redo the whole video now.
Let's just do it again. Nick, you're here for this one. All right, let me bring up the tier list.
Let's do the tier list.
Did you see the MX-30?
Yes, I saw that also. Was it the day?
Oh, my God.
Literally the day of. No, it was the day after. I was going to go see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and on the way to the movie theater, it was driving. I'm like, oh, no! My wife's like, what?
Oh, no,
I'm like,
it exists.
It's
After
there.
you told me how much it sucked, I went and watched Out of Specs video on it, and he concluded the same as you. He said it was the worst EV on the market.
It's terrible.
Which one?
It's a sad excuse.
It's called the Mazda MX-30.
It's basically the EV cousin to their CX-30. And it's got terrible space for rear passengers, has terrible storage space in the trunk tailgate area. It doesn't have a frunk.
And how many did they make? Like 6?
I think, if I remember correctly, it's like 500 or something like that, or 5,000. Either 500 or 5,000, and most of them are sold in California, which makes sense because Californians have money to spare. So, just like me, right? I should have my Cybertruck now, right? I own 5 Taycans.
Exactly. It's at the bottom.
You're an owner of Canoo. I mean, you have tons of money.
Ooh.
Obviously.
Why do you have to say? Why did you say that?
Why did you say that?
Didn't I
oh
say
my God!
Earlier is the real question.
Oh yeah.
I
guess if people missed it, Canoo is
so much.
in the biggest red zone that a red zone could be. Like
at the time of recording, it's up 12%. But that's not saying much. Yeah, because 12% of $3 is not.
It's better than nothing.
So I would need it to go up about 300% to break even at this point. And their last shareholder deck. Hey, I will give Canoo credit for being honest.
I think it's a cry for help, honestly. I think they're asking, hey, can someone step in and give us some money?
Do you think they want to be bought out at this point? Is that their goal?
I would hope so, because they have a contract with NASA and they can't really survive off of that contract, or the potential might. Well, no, I think do they get paid?
We can't mention NASA, Mike. Nick's
I know.
Here.
We can't mention NASA. You're going to get me canceled.
Don't you work for a company who has the name? What am I trying to say? Don't you work for a company whose name contains that set of letters?
Well, this will all be cut out. I promise.
It's all going to be cut. 100% cut. Just no show, actually.
Episode.
We're not.
Did you guys know that Hillary Clinton is 74 years old?
No way, really? I thought she was actually Emperor Palpatine. I saw her dress on the Met Gala.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Go EV? They made a Canoo and ran out of money before shipping a single vehicle. It's like
Ironic.
every time
They
ironic.
could protect the environment. They could save the environment, but they couldn't save
not
themselves.
Aside from the laughter, I am very sad. Honestly, I was very upset to hear that they might not make it because I know Randy can't be with us today, but he did mention that statistically, some of these EV companies are not going to make it, and it sounds like Canoo may be on the list. Personally, I want Apple to buy them.
Well, statistically
That'd be
speaking,
nice.
Randy is wrong 9 times out of 10, so you have to factor that in there somewhere.
That's very true, and he can't defend himself on the
He
show
can't.
this week. So
He is wrong all the time.
Enjoy screaming into the void, Randy.
that's so appropriate. Do you guys think Canoo and Apple? There was talk of a buyout like a couple of years ago. Remember that? They were.
Yeah, and they didn't go through with it. But I think this is, like you said, this is probably that'd be the best option for them, or like the best outcome for them, is to get bought out by Apple. Apple does all their Project Titan stuff with Canoo's assets, and then on the side, they could probably get money with the multi-purpose delivery vehicle if they choose to keep that around.
With the multiverse of madness vehicle.
What?
I don't know.
Just
Sounded
imagining
like a similar
Benedict
number of syllables.
just driving around in a canoe. Wouldn't that be funny?
That would be funny.
Wanda Maximoff just selling burgers.
Oh my god.
Where
I
we
have to
go?
read this.
No, but
Wow, this is quite the show. We've already talked about Apple and a movie and
It is.
an EV. It's just
Well, I just think
all
it's
of
so
Taylor's
like
in
Canoo's
one.
so cheap. Their market cap is $800 million. Apple spent that much on the WeWork TV show. Come on, like they can afford to drop that on Canoo and be like, okay, we're not announcing for sure, but this is like the most non-official way for Apple to enter the EV space. Like, okay, we don't come out on stage with an announcement for the Apple car or anything, but they're just like, we're buying Canoo. Then the whole brand will be like, oh, okay, they're serious about this. They're putting money in it, and they want the designs. They want something. But I don't know. Maybe Canoo has nothing of value to Apple. Maybe that's the problem.
they have technology.
I
They had a
also
lot of
have
prototypes.
technology.
Yeah. Oh my!
Technology.
I mean, they've gone to, or what they say in their recent video, they're at the end of Gamma stage, or they have so many Gamma prototypes of the lifestyle van. So
They were
know-
driving them around.
yeah,
I remember watching their prototype coverage. They had like 10 or 15 prototypes that they were all doing road testing and dust testing, driving them through water and through the desert. And then they brought the one prototype to Jay Leno. So that's why I thought they had a fair shot. It's depressing to find out that money was not managed properly, but it's just reaffirmed that I never will buy a non-Tesla EV stock in my life again. Canoo was my lesson. I've learned the lesson. I'm not interested in anybody else now.
yeah.
I don't know. I heard
did-
Nikola's stocks are pretty cheap right now.
What is
and they
it?
are delivering vehicles, or at least alpha prototypes.
They're
True.
delivering their prototype.
You just have to push them down the hill to start. 'em.
Wow. That's right. They need a kickstart. Oh my god.
Yeah, I actually switched some of my shares from Canoo to Rivian because I thought, well, Rivian's probably going up because their at least earnings report said things are
Show
looking good.
no faith, young Padawan.
I have nothing but faith in Canoo, but I also have faith.
Do you have
in
any
Rivian.
shares in Canoo at this point, or did you convert all of it?
Oh no, I still have Canoo shares.
Okay.
I can still vote for things that will probably mean nothing in the next month.
You'll have one vote. You'll have one share for $3. Now I can vote. I have
Tony
rights.
Aquila, you're still the president or CEO.
You're like, I vote delivery van first. Make the cyber van a thing.
That'd be nice.
Make it so. But yeah, Rivian's. I mean, their expectations were not as high as Wall Street was. Their revenue was, I think, 93 mil in the Street was expecting 130, but yeah, the stock market didn't seem to care. Everyone find out about the demand and the fact that their average selling price for the reservations is $93,000. So that's a lot of money, and they've got a lot of cash in hand. So good for Rivian, even if you're burning right now. I'd say of the startups that are publicly traded right now, Rivian seems the most set up for success out of all of them that I can see.
They're finally building the R1S for customers now, so
right.
At least
I'm excited
it's
for
not just CFOs driving it around, but
they got to start somewhere. It's
so cool.
Kind of like the 4680 Model Y. There's a bunch of them driving around, but no one knows when it's going to be on the configurator. Sight. Yeah,
it's like
they're
Batman.
Just out there.
They're all just Bruce Waynes.
The Bruce Wayne mobile. And
isn't that just a Ferrari or an Aston Martin or something? What does Bruce Wayne drive? A Lambo?
The Batmobile.
Bruce Wayne?
Batman drives the Batmobile. What does Bruce Wayne drive?
The Batmobile. He's the same guy. Spoiler alert. Sorry.
Spoilers!
Ruined.
Wow. So many people can't watch the movie now. I was actually most excited from the Rivian earnings report on the R2 vehicle. They actually gave us some more info on that.
Did you hear about R2,
I don't know.
Nick?
Yeah, R2-D2 is my favorite character in one of my favorite franchises.
You beat me to the joke.
He beeps a lot.
He's going to be built at the Georgia facility.
It's going to be their rival product to the Tesla Bot. So
the Tesla Bot.
It's going to be C-3PO and R2-D2.
Just spray
the
paint.
feature's going to be wacky.
Yeah, it is. But the fact that they want to make like a Model Y competitor that's cheaper had me go, I wonder what that would look like. Do you visualize it looking very similar to the R1S?
I'm Googling it as we speak.
The R1S or the R2? Because the R2 doesn't exist yet, but...
Oh, do we not have like leaks of it or anything?
No.
Well,
I mean, the
referenced
only leak
it a
is
lot.
Them talking about saying we're going to go through with this. It's going to be something the size of, or a competitor of the Model Y, basically. What I took it as was it's probably going to look like a Ford Flex, if you know what that looks like. Basically a toaster on wheels. Or if you know what Rivians look like, just an R1S but smaller, and then maybe some adjustments to the body.
I'd actually be down for that. That'd be kind of cool. I mean,
off-roading.
aside from Tesla, I think Rivian has some of the best styling in the EV market right now. Just the way their front panels look and like the grille design, very aggressive but futuristic. And I like Rivian's front. I like their design. I'll say that on the record. But
wow,
I don't know.
That was a dramatic pause. Everyone was
the Michael
checking
Scott
the
quote.
podcast.
Sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't know where it's going, and I hope to find it along the way.
I think that's many of us, Nick.
Yeah,
but I'd be interested.
I like
in
the
it,
interiors and exteriors. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with Tesla slowly opening up the supercharging network. I think it would be a fantastic vehicle to take advantage of that opportunity and adventure around, because you've got the longevity, but at least the reliability and potential that superchargers allow for EVs, not just in sheer amount of them, but also the charge rate
Location?
that they allow. So being able to have a really cool adventure vehicle and have decent charge rates for your decently awesome car, I would think, I don't know. I'd definitely consider it if I was getting another SUV, but I think the wife and I are pretty sold on the R1S if we ever have more than 2 kids.
Oh, interesting. So if you needed more than 5 seats, that would be the one to go with.
That's what we'd go for. As much as I love the R1T, it doesn't really seat more than 3 people, I guess, in the back, assuming that's me and the wife in the front. So we'd definitely want more seats. So R1S would be the way to go, but R2 sounds pretty cool.
Canoo for the win.
We already talked about it. They're dead. They're dead now.
Speaking of having a lot of seats, I didn't get to talk about this last week. Fit in the back, the 3rd row of a Model Y with another adult. It was cozy and comfy.
My God.
And I got to know Mike closer. This is another Mike. This is a far less.
I was
Mike.
obviously there. Thank you.
I'll add the picture to the video podcast. So if you're watching on audio, you can look at Nick sitting in the third row right now.
Yes, right now. I'm totally sitting there right now. But yeah, I was like honestly shocked. I was in the fetal position, so it wasn't necessarily comfortable, but
you were ready for a crash.
Yeah.
Oh,
how long do you think you could last on a road trip?
On a road trip, I could probably last an hour, probably, without like
1
dying.
hour.
But
wow.
You know,
Wow.
I'm looking at the pictures right now.
Yeah, pretty uncomfortable.
I would not I would maybe last the same amount of time, Nick, and I am smaller than you, so I'm very impressed that you could give yourself an hour in the back of that.
So part of it is like one of my family members has a third row enabled Highlander, Toyota Highlander, and that one is it's very I think it's like a 2014 or 2016 or something, so it's a little bit older, but it's very narrow and then short too, and so there's like nowhere to really sit. But the Model Y had more headroom somehow than the Highlander. I don't know how they did that.
Glass.
The glass, I know. So instant death. But don't stick anyone in the back that you care about.
The last born children go in the third.
That's where Drew would have gone.
Yep. I did go. We had a
surprises.
trailblazer growing up that I was always thrown in the third row.
Get back there.
If he dies, he dies.
I fit back there. I was very happy.
So you were impressed by the size. You thought there would be less space?
I was impressed by the size. Because I was like, let's see if I just fit in there. And so I crawled in there and then got in like the fetal position. And it was like, all right, we can do this. Cool. And then I like scoot over to one side and I look over and like the other seat is available. I'm like, yo, non-cool Mike, get in here too. And let's see if you fit too. And we both sat in there and we're just like sitting there like this. Just chilling. Yep, just two dudes.
I'm looking at the picture. You look happy. I mean, you look ecstatic. It's
man,
quite impressive.
I mean, sitting in the back of the Model Y is just an exciting experience, but perhaps the more exciting experience was being able to sit that close to the not cool Mike.
Why was it that cool?
If he wasn't cool. Yeah.
It does kind of look like me in a way.
A little.
Sorry, what,
if
Mike?
I rotate my head a certain way, I could look like not cool Mike.
Yeah, you have similar beards.
But not cool Mike is not cool, and you are cool. So you'd have to.
How did you feel about the white interior? Are you glad you got it after seeing it in person?
Oh
no.
You're outnumbered on this one, cool Mike.
The white interior is bomb. Is amazing.
Nice.
It is. So I'm going to take a step back, give people a little bit of context. This guy, the not cool Mike, showed up to Starbase a couple weeks ago. He had a white Model Y, which is a long-range white interior, white exterior, long-range Model Y with the third row. I know. Whatever. Ew. Whatever, Mike. You can go shove it where the sun shines.
Got it.
Starbase.
Was it long range or performance?
It was.
Sorry, never mind. Don't answer that.
It was long range for the third time. It's long range. Long range.
But it looks good in the pictures.
No, it looks beautiful. The only reason why I bring that up is because the suspension is higher, and that him having access to that vehicle for a week kind of gave me some not second thoughts, but like 1.5 thoughts on the Model Y.
What?
There's no ground clearance on the Model Y.
It's efficient.
Okay, yes, but also I'm going to be going over Lord knows how many potholes and up and down hills. And
it's got suspension, Nick.
I don't know if you've seen these potholes, Mike. They're car-eating potholes.
These are craters.
Vehicles.
They will eat semi-trucks if you're not careful. Like, there's quite a few spots on this road where everyone just drives in the median or off the road a little bit to avoid these man-eating. They'll put cones inside the potholes.
Where are the civil engineers to fix this?
They're busy working on the Starship, so they forgot about the roads.
They're not allowed to work on it.
Starship, though.
Because
that's actually the Texas state, and the fact that the road's only like 6 feet above sea level and not a great foundation, and the road really wasn't designed for so much traffic, blah blah blah. Anyway, there's bad potholes.
FAA won't let them fix the potholes. It's not allowed.
What's the 21 Pilots song about potholes and cursing government or whatever? Anyway, they don't
Blurface,
use
probably.
they don't use my taxes to fill holes with more cement, so. They're just sitting there.
That was I remember that song.
I know, dude.
That was a throwback.
Side note on our side note, because we're doing side notes today, tangents, whatever we call them. Ever since the iPod was canceled, I've been on this like old ass nostalgia trip for all of my old stuff, and like old music.
Save it.
I know, but like I've listened to that 21 Pilots song like so many times this week. I'm just like, oh man, this is my jam so long ago. I missed this song.
Side tangent to that, I listened to all the Coldplay albums.
Man, dude, me too.
That was a throwback.
But
what a throwback.
You know what? It really sounds good in the Tesla. Coldplay as well. And talking about inside of Teslas.
Yes.
Exquisite interior, but as a white interior, I despise it.
He's not a white interior
you're wrong about
guy.
that.
That's fine. You can enjoy your black interior because that's.
I don't have to clean it, and it looks great.
Exactly. And I will not have to clean my white interior, and it looks.
You don't have to clean the white.
No, it's gonna look terrible and gross.
I'd rather have dirty white than dirty black.
White.
Same,
Is it white then?
Drew, I would so rather have dirty white than clean black. Any day
No, I didn't say clean black, but I mean they both get just as dirty. It's just one hides dirt more than the other.
Yeah.
So
less maintenance.
It's as much maintenance as you want it to be.
Exactly.
Anyway,
it'll look different.
I was a little worried about the suspension on the Performance Model Y, which is going to be like an inch and change shorter than lower to the ground than the long range. And so I'm like,
do you have like an alternative backup?
So currently the plan is, because like I don't know how Performance will handle out there. I see them around, but they're not doing exactly what I do. They're going in the SpaceX stuff. They're SpaceXers.
Yeah.
The Performance wise. So my current plan is as soon as I take delivery, you have like 100 miles or whatever to return it. So literally from my delivery center, I'm going to drive straight to Starbase and try it out there for the afternoon.
Where else would you drive it?
I know. Where else would I drive it, really?
You're going to get it stuck out there, like completely destroy it, then bring it back. I don't like it. It's not.
It has 98 miles on it.
Return it with 99 miles.
The bumper's gone, or it's underneath the car. The white seats are somehow... Wait, no, you have black seats.
For the record,
the black seats are white now.
All the doors are missing.
The steering wheel is cut sideways because you want a yoke as well.
Nick's returned Model Y.
For the record, this is not the intention, but I think it'll be good to, like, first thing, just see how it works, because if it's a showstopper, then it's a showstopper, and I need to know that soon. But there's really no way to, like, they don't have Turos down here. I can't go rent a Performance Model Y and try it out for myself, and so far I haven't met.
Have you thought about getting aftermarket suspension?
I have, but that seems expensive and hard to do, and I don't know what the.
I mean, you don't have to do it. You have someone else do it.
Well, I know.
I don't know. Do they have people that do that down there?
Not down here. Like I'd have to make a trip up to like Houston.
Car shops.
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna.
It's suspension. It's not like a
Mike. This isn't the Bay Area we're talking about. This is the Valley, and this ain't the LA Valley.
I'm sure there are businesses in Brownsville that do suspension.
There are a few of the businesses in Brownsville
who will be happy to shout out.
Yes, I don't know.
If they
I haven't Googled it, to be honest, but I can't imagine there being very many high performance. Like.
You don't need high performance. You just need someone able to switch out the suspension, which is an auto shop thing that I think most cover.
Okay. I will take your word for that, Mike.
We'll see.
I'll have to Google
it. Unfortunately, the kit that I'm talking about is sold out, so joke's on you. I got you got you thinking about this, and you can't even buy it.
Take that.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Mike.
I think it'll make it. I've seen people do some light off-roading with the Performance. I just don't want you to have to keep paying for gas, especially when...
Dude,
for a minute there, I thought it was getting better, and then it got way worse than it was before.
Dude, I've put $50 in my tank every other day for like the past 2 weeks. Yeah.
You drive that?
Are you serious?
I've been driving a little bit more. There was some people in town I was making a little bit more driving, but it was like,
oh my god,
like $300 last week.
Nick, how long is your drive?
It's like 40 minutes, right?
It's 40 minutes. It's 38 minutes one way, and then I drive around Starbase a bunch, and then I drove back. And okay, that's my normal commute.
You need this car. You really do.
Yeah, I have a 16-gallon tank. If you want it, or 15 gallons is typically what it takes. And then my car gets what? I don't know. Look it up. 6-cylinder, old butt.
15.
Yeah,
miles
probably 15, 18 miles a gallon. Nothing great. I'm sure not. It does not get what the EPA estimated back in 2008 anymore. Let's put it that way. Between all the bugs on the front end. So yeah, I've definitely been feeding the gas pump lately, and I'm just every time I stick my credit card in there, I'm like,
same.
Yeah, we're paying about, I think, around 200 plus every month for the RAM. So once it hits $7 a gallon over here, we'll probably not drive the truck.
$7 a gallon? Wait, what is it?
Right now we're
That's
at
not
6.
far.
We're at 6 right now. So
where I was, there were a couple places we could go to that were on casinos, so they got to bypass the California tax, and they were under 5 per gallon. But now even those places are over 5 per gallon. So this is the first time in my life we've had to actually pay over $5 a gallon.
Old
for
like
gas.
80s movie about the apocalypse, and like the gas prices in the apocalypse of this 80s movie were like $5 and $6 a gallon, and I'm just like,
are you talking about Mad
Blade
Max?
Runner.
one of those old 80s apocalypse movies.
In Mad Max, they paid for gas with blood, not U.S. dollar.
That's what's gonna be soon. Here's my kidney. Can I fill up my tank?
I'm ready. I am so ready at this point. Like
bad for you guys.
I haven't even told you guys the bad news.
That's
What?
not the bad news.
The bad news.
Potholes and the gas.
potholes. No, that's
What
not
is
even
the
the bad
bad
news.
news?
The bad news is my reservation date got bumped back to June 4th through July 2nd, I think. Let's double check that.
Oh my God.
It's loading.
Sad face.
It's loading. Yeah, June 4th
That's
through July
annoying.
2nd. So I haven't touched anything. I didn't change any order, anything. I haven't even talked to the representative person besides saying, yes, I would like to take delivery of it at some point. It went back another 2 weeks. So we're still sitting at a month away-ish. No, month
I
and a
think what would be awesome is if the Giga Texas Model Y started showing up in existing inventory right now.
That'd be kind of cool.
I would, as soon as I saw it, I would text you the link and I'd be like, Nick, buy this immediately.
Yep.
It would instantly save you $7,000 off the purchase price. I think you would get the car sooner. Ideally.
Yep.
And you'd have a 4680 Model Y.
And I get that very lovely new redesigned lid on the back.
Parcel shelf, yeah.
And what is it called? Parcel shelf?
Parcel shelf. And
PARCEL.
There's a dorsal fin on the Model Y. There's also the center console is a magnetic lid instead of a latch.
Ooh.
So it's more like the Model X.
Oh,
and
that's
S,
totally worth spending an extra $60,000 on. I mean, those two features alone, like, geez.
Extra 60,000.
What are you talking about? It's gonna cost less, right, or equal to?
No, it would be less. It would definitely be less.
Yeah.
The rumored price is less, but I have a feeling that when they launch it, if demand is too high, they won't hesitate raising.
I bet you it's gonna. I bet you it'll have to have FSD. Like I can't imagine, especially if it's just gonna show up in inventory, it's gonna have FSD on it, which.
That sounds logical. I mean, I've heard people say that they're just stockpiling. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't go there. There's lots of Model Ys spotted outside Giga Texas that are like piled up in the parking lot, and then the semi trucks show up and shut up, computer. There's like semi trucks that are loading them up and taking them off. So they've taken hundreds of Model Ys out of Giga Texas. No one's driving down. If I was out there, I'd be driving behind the semi trucks and following them, trying to figure out where they're taking them. But they're not taking them inside the factory. Like, they're just going somewhere. I don't know where they're going. The EPA testing is done. The crash testing has been done. So they're just moving them around. So I'm curious what the thought process is, especially considering it's mid-May and they still haven't told us what this
deliveries have started.
Costs. First deliveries are 6 weeks ago. I think Sandy Monroe is going to tear down one before we actually are able to order one.
Probably.
I'm looking at
Hey,
the
boys
used
and
inventory
girls.
right. Oh my goodness. I'm looking at the used inventory on the site right now.
Mm-hmm.
The lowest selling one
it's all performance FSD with 30 million miles on it.
The lowest one is a long range all wheel drive, and it costs $74,000.
Springfield, New Jersey.
Yep, we're looking at
74,000 for the used one.
Yep,
it's got
18,000 miles on it.
We're looking at the exact same one.
So the more statistically, the more miles it has, the more it costs. That's what we've learned.
Really?
It appreciates as it drives.
Honestly, that's a correlation, not causation. The next cheapest one is $77,000, so it's an extra $5,000 or $3,000 more, and it has double the mileage at 33,000 miles.
The most expensive one is 41,000 miles, and it costs $81,000, and it's performance.
That is performance.
Or no?
And it's
okay.
I will say I love the white color of the exterior. Yeah. It looks great. However, every once in a while, I regret not getting red. Like,
red's my second favorite.
There's little fleeting moments where I see like a red Model 3 or Y drive by, and I'm like, oh.
Especially with the black trim.
Mm-hmm.
They match each other. They complement each other so much. That's also the Red Canyon Rivian is my favorite color. Like, we didn't get to see one at the First Mile event, but every time I see pictures, I'm like, oh,
the elusive Red Canyon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if all the colors were free, I would still probably pick white just because it's pretty neutral. But my next choice would be red after white. That's no question. But the fact that it's the most expensive color option makes me like it a lot less. How much? 2,000 extra? Nope, I don't like it.
Yep.
That sucks.
White's fine. White's fine for me.
But Mike texted me a picture of a Model 3 in his driveway and said, "Did I make a mistake?"
Yeah.
Which led to all kind of crazy speculation on my part. But I was prepared. I figured, I know Mike has a friend with a Model 3. They were probably just visiting. And if you did make a mistake by buying one in the alternate universe when that happened, I would have said, like, I will offer you the same price that I'm willing to pay for my rear-wheel drive Model 3 for that Model 3 just to get it sooner, because I'm ready to stop paying for gas. We're planning trips. We're trying to get dates. We're trying to figure out plans, and not knowing when this car is coming is causing quite a lot of frustration. So I'm just so done with gas. I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
done too, and I don't even drive the gas car. I haven't driven the truck in weeks or months. It's been a while.
Yeah, there's not many great affordable options. Man, I almost wish, Nick, you would have reserved a Lightning back when they were available.
Dude, okay.
You could have gotten such a cheaper vehicle that would be better for the off-roading stuff.
I know. Okay, so I've been talking this Model Y order out with like lots of my friends down here, and it's not buyer's remorse, and I'm probably still gonna end up with the Model Y, but like there are some other good options, but unfortunately they're all more delayed than the Model Y is at this point. And so it's like, well, I mean, what does Elon say? We turn the impossible into the late. We turn the impossible into late.
That's a good Yeah, that's a good way.
Possible in 2 weeks, if anything.
Exactly. So, landing rockets was impossible, but now it's just late. These electric cars were impossible just a few years ago, and now they're all late. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Ford Lightning, as much as heck as I give it, like, it would probably fit my needs right now better than the Model Y is. However, I hate Ford, so it's kind of a non-starter.
I love their...
And also, they won't take an order for it.
There you go.
It's like, well, that's your loss, Ford. Suck it.
Yeah. Well, literally, because they're losing money on each one sold, so it's their loss. I admire their focus on trying to make it a good deal for the consumer by like honoring the reservation pricing, and definitely they're losing money on those things. There's no doubt in my mind. You cannot sell that Pro variant for $40,000. It does not cost less than $40,000 to build that thing. There's no way. No. Especially watching all the impression videos people have been posting about it, like seeing that it uses the same powertrain as the other options, and the interior is scaled down a little bit, but not much. and the powered. It still has a powered frunk even on the entry model, which was kind of mind blowing. But yeah, it's just an incredible value that is, frankly, I think the steal of just any vehicle, electric or gas. Like, best value on the market right now has to be that Lightning Pro, and it's such a good value they're not taking orders for it. So everyone who did put an order in is like, I think they're incredibly lucky, and that's cheaper than my Model 3. That's way cheaper than the either Model Y you guys have, and has quite a lot of practicality, acceleration, and a decent amount of range. So it's like, dang, those those, those vehicles are something else. Ford's basically subsidizing their pickup truck production. Like, why don't you just take it? We don't need you to pay for it.
Let's just take all this gas money and give people electric cars that don't make any money or make any sense, but they have drains in the front, so you can use it as a cooler.
You could fill so much ice in that frunk, but have it still spill out the edge a little bit because the lightning.
Well, and when you hit the brakes really hard and the frunk like pops open, all of your drinks and ice go flying forward.
You like slam the brakes on a pedestrian crossing and you just hit them with all your ice and drinks.
You know, Nick, how do you feel about a van that's made by Ford?
The Transit?
Because right now you can still get the electric Transit. There's no, at least as of right now, you can order an electric Transit.
Isn't that like 90 grand or something?
Nope, $45K starting price.
So the other one I was looking at was the Ford Maverick, which is a hybrid.
Maverick's cool.
Oh yeah,
I see them around.
I've heard good
they
things.
got a good build.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap. It was like $20,000 or something like that, like $28,000 after I spec'd out with insurance or dock and destination and taxes and stuff. So it's definitely like a much cheaper option, but also it's Ford.
Doesn't fix the gas problem.
Also, it's not a gas fix. Like, it still takes gas. Okay, it's an electric hybrid. It's hybrid, not even plug-in electric, which is the problem. Because anyway, so I was looking at the Maverick for a little bit, but at the end of the day, it still only gets like 30 or 40 miles a gallon, and that's like, well, I'm still gonna be visiting the pump when it's $20 a gallon. Yippee.
Yep.
And so then after that, I was like, well, let's look at some other options. And one of my friends worked at an EV startup, and he was actually recommending the second-gen Volt from Chevy, because it's actually a hatchback. I didn't know it was actually a hatchback. It looks like a sedan. I always thought it was a sedan, but evidently
that was going to be the car I was going to get for
Really?
a while, and then I decided to wait, and then because it was either going to be the Volt or the Bolt, and we liked the Volt, but it wasn't electric, and we liked the electricity of the
electric
Bolt.
version of the Volt.
Yes, so there's a hybrid of the Volt, but there wasn't a pure electric, and that's
electric,
what I was wanting.
Yeah.
So the only other option was Bolt, and we're like, that thing's ugly on the interior, so we'll just wait and see if if we gross enough money to get a Model 3 one day, and then we had enough money and the Model Y came out. The Volt is really great.
I gotta look into this e-Transit though. You said 45K?
45K, it charges 15 to 80% in 34 minutes because it's got 115 kilowatt DC charging.
Well, that's at the fast chargers.
That's at the fast charger, but even so, 126 miles of range. I think Nick probably drives something close to
that's
that.
like a big van. Oh, I thought it was like
a big
smaller
van.
Transit. That's like a big one.
It's a decently sized Transit. I mean, you can spec it out to be a big one or a small
Sprinter,
one.
but yeah.
You can make it
the range is not great, of course.
The range isn't great, but Nick already drives probably about 126 miles is what it is.
126?
Yeah.
What do you drive per day usually, Nick?
On the average day where I just go to work and back, which is typically how I am trying to keep it, I go, what would that be, about 80 miles or so there and back. So it would be fine. Okay. But this past couple weeks, I did drive a bit more, and I was averaging more like 150, 200 miles a day, which is more than I'd like, obviously. But some days those happen, and I don't know if I'd want a car that I'd have to be like, oh, I've gone 120 miles today. I gotta go charge it for 8 hours. It's like, as long as you have enough range to get through your 95th percentile day without having to charge, that's fine. in my opinion, because those
I think
5%
this
of
would
the
be
times
great.
you can fast charge or whatever, but yeah, the 95th percentile days, you gotta be able to hit those with just overnight charging.
True, but I mean, at least for your work, Nick, you're mainly staying in Starbase. You're not really going too far. You're not traveling to Oklahoma or anything.
Yeah.
Like every month, you're mainly
No.
staying in that area, and you're mainly
Maybe you
driving,
just
like you said, 80 miles. This would be
use your gas car on those off days.
Yep.
Yeah.
On those weird days.
That is true.
I would think this would be great because you've got so much space for all the equipment that you could haul around, and then when it's a hot sunny day, you could just hang out in there, and whether you want to install a air conditioning unit on top or whatever,
Move out of your apartment.
I know, just van life.
Yeah.
eliminate that
Van
bill.
life it.
This is a fully electric, right? This isn't hybrid.
I think
Yeah, this
so.
is a fully
Yeah.
electric one. Yeah,
So
45K.
I know plug-in hybrids have their downsides, but I do think for like a van life thing, a plug-in hybrid is a pretty good option because
That's
you
the
can do
golden
most of your
child right now on the market.
yeah, you can like do most of your daily driving. You know, if you're van lifing it, you can do most of your daily driving on straight electric. But then if you want to do a long road trip or whatever, you still have that gas option.
I got a buddy who's staying with me who's currently retrofitting these vans for those
cool.
van lifers, and he wants
Yeah.
to make a business out of it.
Ooh.
And
The
he's currently
E-Transit?
no, not the E-Transit. He's got a.
Oh, okay.
That'd be cool if he had an E-Transit. No, he's just got a regular transit. And he's basically taken all of it out, put nice floorboards in there, and currently he's got 2 mounts for seats, but they're like tandem. So it's pretty funny when we went to Tahoe. If you remember when I went to Tahoe a while back, he took up 2 people, and there's no windows on the thing, so these guys are just sitting in the van, spaced apart really weirdly. But I think this would be a great option in general for at least something of what you do as well.
Autopilot, though.
Do you need
true.
autopilot? This thing has
least,
more
like-
clearance. Like, you don't need autopilot. You're on roads that have giant potholes that are craters.
This is true.
It's nice to have, though.
Yeah.
I'll admit.
I would think this is a golden goose.
I know, then I can
I don't
van
know.
life it. But I want the Model Y, though. Oh, that Model Y is so much better than this. Like, I'd much rather have a Tesla than a Ford. Yuck. Like, I don't
Well,
want to
again-
encourage. I don't want to encourage one of these old EV or one of these old manufacturers with their EVs. It's like,
I think
y'all-
at least supporting Ford on the E-Transit is a good idea because we need electrified cargo vans for delivering mail and all
Well,
yes, but I'd
you're
rather have a
you're hurting
Cybertruck.
Ford.
that. Cybertruck is not going to be an electrified transit van.
It's okay.
for
It doesn't matter
delivering
because it's a Cybertruck.
We need to deliver
You're
packages.
hurting
and
Ford by
I'd at
buying
least
these
support
things.
this portion of Ford, or at least encourage
They're
them
not
to do
making-
more.
They're not making money on these things, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Cybertruck's gonna be over $100,000. I'm fairly convinced
yeah.
of that at this point. So,
110. I'm sticking to it.
I thought it was 120, but
Oh, 120?
over
Oh, yeah.
100.
I did say 120.
That's what you
didn't I?
said.
Yeah, I'm sticking to it. 120.
But the more I do the math in my head on the batteries and the efficiency, the more I'm convinced it just makes no sense for them to sell that thing for under $100K. There's even with 300 miles of range, like that's going to be an expensive truck, and it's not going to be a great deal. And there's going to be a mass disappointment wave across the internet when the numbers come forward, and everyone's going to lose their minds and be so upset. And I'm gonna try my best to say I told you so, and you should pay attention next time when I try to warn everything.
Pay attention.
Everybody.
Listen to me. I am the prophet.
I told you. I warned everyone.
You're the crazy dude
But-
on the corner who's got the sign saying, "The end is nigh."
Yeah. Cancel the Cybertruck reservation. It's not gonna work out. Yeah, it's gonna be a big, massive disappointment. But Ford is just giving stuff away. Basically, they're building these.
They're
things
like, the
and handing
government's
them
going to
out.
bail us out anyway, so here,
Subsidy,
you get
right.
a car, and you get
They
a
don't
car,
care.
and you get a car.
Everyone take
gets
it.
a car.
Might as well. I don't even know why they're charging for them. They should just start handing them out. That's what they're basically doing. But as much as a great deal as it is, I'm right there with you. I do not want a Lightning over my Model 3 just because of the charge network and the efficiency and the autopilot, the software. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I just think at
comfortable
least
paying
in
more.
Nick's position, he's not really visiting a supercharger daily. He's going from home to work, back to home. And so he's probably going to be getting some 240 or 220 volt plug for some electric vehicle, whether it's a Tesla or an alternate to
Wouldn't
Tesla,
it be nice
which
if those were just included with all the Teslas.
We're good. We got it.
I know. We got it. But
it's with ours.
We got it.
That's back in stock, by the way.
Oh, it is? Oh, really?
Buy it.
Yeah.
I was telling my friend who got her 3, I'm like, it was sitting out in the white 3 that we mentioned earlier. I'm like, you might want to hide that. Like that's kind of in high demand right now. I'm sure even those who don't have Teslas would probably break open your window, take it, and then sell it for a higher price on the internet for someone else to buy. None the wiser that they stole it from someone else's
Never mind.
car.
It's out of stock again.
Oh, well, there we go. That was quick.
It sold it out. It was back in stock a couple days ago, and now everyone bought it up.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
It's like Tesla tequila. There and gone.
What's interesting to me is it's $200.
I'm looking at the website here. What's the difference between the mobile connector and the corded mobile connector? They're both $100. They're both out of stock. But what's the difference?
The corded mobile connector comes with the bag and the NEMA 1450, whereas it's like a circular bag.
Yeah.
And the
square
mobile connector comes with a square bag. I don't know why they have multiple bags.
Wait. Why is there a circular bag? Hold on.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I'm very confused
what
right
is
now.
this?
One is
I'm opening both.
yeah, it's very bizarre that they have both. I thought the best part was no part Tesla. Why is there
one
two
comes with
versions?
just the 1450 corded mobile connector, which is 20 feet, and the storage bag.
And
the other one comes with the
515.
Adapters. Yeah.
But you can choose to also get it with the 1450 at no additional charge, which is weird.
So it's just the bag.
So you can
the bag choice.
It's a different bag.
Wow.
But one comes with an extra adapter.
Well, but the other one has the option of coming with.
Yeah, one has an option, the other one doesn't. So whether you want one with an option or not.
I don't get that.
What do you not get?
They just have. There's different bags option. That's the only difference.
Wow,
No.
Tesla.
There's an adapter that comes with one, but not with. Oh, wait a second.
Yeah, you can get that same adapter with the other one for no additional charge. They're both the same price.
The other one doesn't offer that.
Wow.
You only get 1450.
So the only difference is the bag.
No, an adapter.
So
getting?
if you want, you're saying that if you intentionally want a mobile connector for $200 and you're like, I hate the 515. I don't want the 515.
Yeah.
I need to get a circular bag. There's
No.
no choice. That's what it is.
Well, yeah, you get the 1450 with the circular one.
Mm-hmm.
And you get this either the 515 or the 1450 with the other one.
You get both with the other one.
No, based on selection. You get one. Oh, you can get both.
That's what I'm saying. You can choose to get the 1450 and the 515 for the same price. It's just the bag is the difference.
Wow.
I get it now, and I've got no clue why this is a thing.
Yeah, this is confusing.
But both of them don't come with the J1772 charging adapter, which is still trash.
No.
But that's back in stock. So
Oh.
I'd recommend you guys to get that if you're not getting it. 'Cause mine's come in handy
hilarious.
every single time I've used it.
Tesla,
That
you need to simplify your website.
That sentence just made sense or was trivial. It's come in handy every single time I've used it. Yes.
Nick, you should buy the F-150 Lightning because you can charge other Teslas with it.
Yes.
So you could charge your Model Y
with my
the Lightning.
Exactly. I thought about this. Then I can charge my house with the Lightning too, because I'm pretty sure the Lightning's just like an infinite power source, right? Like when you buy
live
that,
in an apartment.
the Lightning strikes and it just powers everything indefinitely. It's like the singularity.
Infinite battery.
The antenna is actually a lightning rod. It's
There
not
you
even a radio rod. It's a.
That's why they
That's
use
how
the
it
real
charges.
antenna.
That's how it charges. They're like, and you
Uh-huh.
need to drive it through a tornado at least once a month. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to continue driving.
So that's why everyone on the Midwest loves this car.
Exactly. You can charge it with the sky.
It's the Back to the Future style. You know, it has to attach hit the lightning every time. Huh. So, in the event that your Model Y performance can't handle the potholes, your backup option is the E-Transit.
Do it.
Or
I got a guy who can retrofit for
system. A second gen Volt is still probably on the top of my list of backup options.
What's the range on the electric?
I think it's 100 miles, but you get them used, and it's not going to be 100 miles.
I get like 20 or 40.
Was it 20
or at least
40?
That's what I heard last time.
I know the first one was really crappy, as in all EV, but he was saying that the second gen one wasn't too bad.
Oh yeah, the first gen Volt was bad. It looked like a Prius and just did not have anything going for it. You'd be better with getting.
Why is it bad to look like a Prius?
Are you asking that question?
Yeah, because the Model Y looks kind of like a Prius.
It looks nothing like a Prius.
They got the swoop and the big drop off.
The swoop and the de-whoop.
They were going for aerodynamic. It's
53 miles.
That's what they did.
Is the second gen
53.
Volt.
Okay, so it's interesting. Close. 40, 53 miles. It's close.
You're closer, but that should be enough to do a good amount of my commute on EV.
Yeah.
And cut the gas bill.
That will eat into the gas bill.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, you're still paying.
You still have to do maintenance on it because it's still a gas car.
I know. It's still a gas car.
So you'll be supporting GM.
No, I would not be supporting GM. I'd be buying a used GM vehicle.
Oh, that's good.
I think you should test drive the Ioniq 5, Nick.
Okay, so I just saw a couple pictures of the Ioniq 5 like an hour and a half ago before we started recording, and I looked it up, and they're not selling them in my area because of dealer reasons or whatever.
We'll drive one down to you.
Yeah, okay. But no,
I would be more than happy to drive it.
They look pretty good except for that white bezel. I'm a fan of white bezels.
Then just get some deep skin on it.
Wow.
Nick likes white bezels. Why don't you like it on the?
But that is a lot of white bezel there, guys. That's a little much.
Just get a D-brand skin on it.
Interesting. Fine. Also, that you could do the Kia EV6, which is basically the same thing with black bezels.
It's just a little bit more bougie.
It's a little bougier, but very similar EV.
Very modern look.
I don't know if that would have better ground clearance, though.
No, I don't know either. Not. But at that point, it would be quarter of the price.
I mean, if you're considering a Volt, then you're basically in the same clearance as the Ioniq and the EV6.
Yep. But anyway.
You just have to consider cost of ownership with, if you still pay for gas versus if you don't pay for gas, then you can justify. Right. That's no fun. But
well, if your car's delayed any later, Nick, I'm planning on trying to test drive all these electric vehicles during the summer that me and Drew did a tier list on last episode.
Oh, wow. Well, good. Well, I'll get your first reactions to them.
I'll try, yeah. Even the electric Mini Cooper, if I could find one.
There's one in Denver for sale for $31,000.
Let me just fly to Denver to drive a Mini Cooper.
Sorry, we talked about this earlier, and then we got sidetracked for an hour. But interior-wise, do you think the R2 Model Y competitor from Rivian, would they go more like Model 3 with their interior?
I
just
really
have one
hope
display?
They do, because as much as Rivian is really cool with like the R1T has the flashlight and the kitchen add-on and very cool things. I also really just appreciate the fact that it could be simpler and just nothing. Steering wheel optional.
What? No, that's the Robotaxi.
Yeah. No, I mean, seriously though, it could be simpler. Best part's no part. Your requirements are dumb. Delete your constraints. No more steering wheels.
Yeah. No, I could definitely see no heads-up display, no center console screen for the passengers in the back, no flashlight, maybe some
That's
mounting
where all the
points
money's going,
on the top. But
save thousands of dollars.
They moved the location, so it's a little bit cheaper. So instead of being in the door, now it's in the center console, and it's just rolling around.
They say just use the headlights.
Yeah. Maybe even different headlights that are a little bit less expensive, because I'm sure that the headlights that are on the R1T
just one
and the
40-watt bulb in the center.
I think they'd probably look more like the Amazon delivery van headlights, more circular instead of oval in a way.
Yep, that'd be good.
And then
they could probably make a cheaper. I don't think the seats need to be cooled. Maybe they could just do heated seats. They could simplify that assembly process. Maybe
or
even go with a body roof.
Just make everyone stand.
Stand.
Sounds like the E-Transit.
Sounds like the Flintstones car.
Exactly. Why have a motor when you can just use your feet? Wow. This is perfect.
Wow.
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 Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see a more minimal approach, because I see like the R1T. The cool thing about Rivian is like their first product is kind of everything at once. It's like their Roadster, it's their Model S, it's their pickup. You know, it's because it's got insane acceleration, but it's also got the practicality, but it's also a little bougie and luxury and adventure focused. So they're kind of like doing all of these first impressions on their first vehicle. So I'm curious to see what happens when they're like, okay, let's design something that's more prioritized for affordability and scalability. So I don't know when they're going to unveil it. They say they want to bring it to market in 2025. So I assume that means they unveiled the R1T way before it delivered. They unveiled it, I think, in 2018 or 17 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then it didn't start delivering until last year. So I would assume within the next year we would get an unveiling. I just wonder how minimal they'd go with it. It'll be interesting. I think.
Talk about Tesla not unveiling anything in the last year or so. Rivian's been like, we're not going to do one for a very long time.
Yeah.
And they're making
There's
three
not
vehicles
that many...
at once.
True. I mean, I'm more interested in that because there's a chance of me actually buying it someday. Whereas like Project Gravity, I'm like, that's never gonna happen. Like,
I think the VW one would probably be closer for you. I think VW's making is it VW? EV SUV.
What do you mean, the ID4?
No, not the ID4. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
ID6?
What am I thinking of?
ID 3.14.
The
The VW ID
round
Pi.
Wheels.
I would rather buy the Buzz when that's out than the
Buzz. Oh, dude, I cannot wait for that. That is going to be so cool.
Yay!
No.
I have not been looking forward to
agree.
a movie so much since I saw the Buzz Lightyear trailer. Like, I cannot wait for this movie.
I can agree with that.
But it's gonna do a Mike meme. Mike's gonna make this meme for us later where it's like ID Buzz shames Buzz Lightyear, and he's like, yeah, that's more like the ID Buzz Lightyear. That sounds like an EV.
Buzz Lightyear to the rescue.
To save climate change.
I don't know what VW you're thinking of.
It's not. It's Kia.
Oh, okay.
It's a Kia EV SUV. I'm gonna get the name in a second.
Okay, while you're looking that up, I don't know if you caught the earnings report from Lucid, Nick, but
no, I didn't. Pray tell. How bad is the news?
Their ramp is going quite slowly.
And that ramp is going straight off a cliff, right?
Pretty close.
I mean, they definitely have way less cash on hand than Rivian does, and they are taking their precious time with production because quality. But also, when I mentioned that, there were a lot of comments saying that news agencies were reporting on the quality control of Lucids being quite spotty. So I was like, well, if you can't even get the quality control thing right, I don't know what you're doing. I thought that was kind of the whole point of their market or demographic, but I'm wondering if they're gonna make it. Honestly, I'm not so confident with Lucid prioritizing.
How many of these EVs do you think EV companies are gonna die?
Enough.
Enough. I think it's safe to say most of them, right? Like, I'd be pretty surprised if all of them made it.
I mean, they've made it thus far, but like, okay. So here's I've thought about this like for a little bit, but like, okay, Tesla made it, right? And they showed everyone, oh, dang, I should have invested in Tesla back in the day because then I'd be an oobly billionaire, right? So now everyone's looking for the next Tesla. And as long as the economy is like good, people are going to be having some money to invest around places, and they'll be wanting to catch that next hype wave. And so all of these EV startups are like, hey, we're the next Tesla. Oh, Nikola, we're the next Tesla. Oh, Rivian, we're the next Tesla. Oh, Lucid, we're the next Tesla. Everyone says they're the next Tesla. Everyone's investing in them. All this money's coming in at them. And then as the economy retracts and we stop having all this access to free capital and really cheap money, the businesses don't have the investors base that they used to, and they're still burning through the same cash, and they run out of cash reserves, and bam, they're dead, which is almost what killed Tesla and SpaceX back in the day. But hopefully it doesn't kill more of them. The economy.
So my thought, that's a good point, because my thought process was also along the lines of, could these companies have self-fulfilling prophecies where they wouldn't succeed, but because so many people want them to, they invest, and then they liquidate the stock, and that keeps them afloat. So it's like people's belief in their success is actually what enables it to succeed. But like you said, as we saw this week, there's massive sell-offs, and I think the public perception of startups could change a lot if several start going bankrupt over and over again. That might change a lot of people's willingness to invest in startups, and then they all will just start saying, I don't think we can, I don't want to invest in them, because what if they're the next Canoo, or what if they're the next Lordstown, and not the next Tesla that they claim they're going to be? Because right now, I think you're right. Everyone has that perception that, well, Tesla made it, so that means everyone else is going to make it, because Elon didn't do much, right? He just stuffed some batteries in a car and sold it, and
pretty sure he just talked to Duracell and got quite a few Duracells.
They're like, Tesla didn't do anything special. They were just a little bit ahead of everybody else. But I think maybe if there's more and more bankruptcies and more companies that go under, it'll start to become maybe it's not as easy as we think, and not everybody's going to make it. And at this point, I'm under the belief of Rivian has enough cash to make it, and they're ramping pretty well. Lucid has a lot less cash and is not ramping as well, and all these other guys are struggling to find funding and not even delivering cars. So it's I'm gonna be on the pessimistic side and say, like, most will either crash and burn or be bought out. That's what I think their future is for the majority.
Yeah, seeing how the financials are breaking down now, I'd agree more with Canoo not even producing any vehicles yet.
Can't
not being able to stay afloat even before they set sail.
EVs typically float.
What?
You don't sail a canoe. What the?
EVs are typically heavier than gas cars. I would say
no. But I've seen many a Tesla drive through the water, so.
Yeah, that's not them floating. That's them driving through water.
No, it's floating.
The wheels propel them.
There's no Tesla boat yet.
It'd be really funny if, like, someone just took a scrapped Tesla top and just cut it off and stuck it on top of, like, a really low-profile boat and just drove it around the water.
Someone made a Model 3 into a tank. Did you see that?
No,
that was
I actually
horrific.
Want this now. I want this.
No,
car.
You don't. It looks horrific.
You'd have much better ground clearance.
Exactly. It would be perfect. Let me look this up.
I'll find it for you. But
so the vehicle
6 tons.
Yeah. So the vehicle I was talking about before is the Kia EV9. To get back to that.
Got it. I see.
That thing is basically, I think, is a fantastic competitor with the maybe not Project Gravity, but at least the R2 platform.
Have they said what they want the EV9 to cost?
Around $50,000.
Oh, wow.
But all they have right now is concept images of really design-esque futurism, where it's got like a weird yoke and everything else is just like carpet and flat.
I like the interior.
Curved. Yeah.
I like that yoke, but I doubt this is the design that's going to make it to market.
It's also got suicide doors, kind of like a Rolls Royce, where they both open up
I love those doors. They need a better name, though.
Entrance. Yeah.
I don't care for that name, but
I think the car looks
yeah,
great.
I don't think I would prefer that display to a Tesla, but it's still very clean, very minimal looking on the inside. And I like the exterior. I just get the feeling that this is going to be one of those concept car scenarios where it's like, this is what we want it to be, and then it comes out and it's all EQS looking. This was an attempt. We tried our best. And it, it's already got the side view cameras, which I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
I think the concept for the EV6 was also a little bit outlandish, if I remember right.
I'm sure it looked very different from the production model.
But
wouldn't shock me.
It still looks pretty good now. And I don't know.
That's true.
I don't know if
anything with that
much.
Kind of a sunset in the background will look good. I mean, I use that exact same technique when I take pictures of starships. Like, let's be honest.
Because it's just a concept. Because Starship doesn't exist.
It doesn't. Actually, it's all just a simulation. We're all in a simulation. This is all.
So what you're saying is the Starship doesn't look very good, is what I think I just.
No. What Nick's saying is that he claims that he's driving around all day, but he's actually at home trying to render these really cool images on his computer.
With the M1 chip.
Yeah, on his M1 chip, and that's why he really wants to get the studio, and he's really relishing it.
Yes.
But instead, his job is literally just rendering starships.
This is all fake, actually, everyone.
Makes sense.
You lied to us.
Darn.
This suntan is fake. I paint
Kia,
it on with makeup every day. You can tell.
Just make the EV9.
Don't do my shoulders.
I've got the same thing. Just make the EV9 look like the concept. That's all I'm saying. Just don't change it too much.
I think it looks amazing. I would consider buying the EV9 because I loved if y'all look up what a Volvo 940 wagon looks like. It's basically close to what the EV9 is, but it's a wagon, so it's basically a sedan, so shorter.
Right.
But still like a toaster on wheels.
Like a toaster. Do you guys think Tesla should...
yes.
Because they announced they want to add CCS connectors to all the superchargers.
Hail
and there were a lot of people suggesting...
No. Hail to the no.
You don't want CCS
no.
add-ons?
No.
Offering 2 different plugs?
I don't want no Prius parking in my supercharger, dang it.
But the thing is, Nick, I think... So that's what my wife said, but then I mentioned to her that this is not necessarily going to be a retrofit, right, Drew? It's going to be only on newer superchargers.
They
haven't clarified that.
They'll have the nice premium superchargers at the front of the parking lot. In the back with the tumbleweeds way back in the back, they might toss a CCS charger in there, and that'll be fine with me. As long as there's like a big wall of separation between all the broke people without a Tesla and me and my Tesla, will be fine.
With their Lucids. The broke people with Lucids.
They are broken.
Can we call him not superchargers, just like Tesla normal chargers? And they're
Tesla
average chargers.
Tesla average chargers.
You can average charge your non-Teslas here.
Sufficient chargers.
Sufficient chargers. So I take it, Nick, and it sounds like Mike's wife is in favor of the ecosystem of superchargers should only charge Teslas. Is that the logic? Is this should be an exclusive club?
Yeah.
Unique advantage.
Yeah. I mean, accelerate.
Hi, Mickey Mouse.
Accelerate the transition to sustainable energy or whatever, but at the end of the day, part of the reason why you buy a Tesla is because you want the supercharging network, and no one want to show up to a supercharger that has 4 independent stalls, 8 stalls total, but 4 AB stalls, and they're all full of frickin' lightnings. No, thank you. No, thank you.
You can use your supercharger.
You and your lightnings can go over to the nearest Electrify America charger. Oh, wait, that's up in San Antonio. Oh, bummer. Oh, sorry. Bye-bye.
So, just so we're aware, this isn't the same with gas cars, right? There's not like the Ford gas pump or the Hyundai gas pumps. It's like
things are different, Drew. Things are different electric vehicles. And you just have to accept that there's an exclusive club, and that's for Teslas with their superchargers, and then there's the other kids on the block.
I can understand that mindset because, I don't really think Ford or Hyundai...
I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it
Neither of you own one yet.
we're better than them drives.
I have a $250 reservation. I'm better than them.
He's like, hey, I bought a whistle. I
also
Tesla
bought
owner.
a whistle. Weird.
You have a whistle and you have a Cybertruck, right?
I have
Someone gave you a Cybertruck the other day?
I have a Powerwall. I have 3 Cybertrucks. I have a whistle. I have various
semi.
Oh, you
that
have
I totally
a semi
bought myself.
Yeah. I even have a hat that doesn't even go with it, but I have a
the
hat
reason.
too.
The reason it's probably more understandable than exclusive gas stations is most charging will be done from home. Ow! Wow. I'm gonna add that to the list here.
Just creating more work for Drew.
So as you can see on this graph that I'm holding up right here, Drew, in my hands that you have to edit in later.
Look at this graph.
I'm
what
actually
were you saying to your wife?
Oh, so I was telling. I said many things. For at least the addition of a CCS plug, I think it's great because these are only on, or at least what I'm thinking is the mindset is that they're not going to go retrofit every single supercharger. That would be one heck of a project. It'll take them forever, and maybe that's the plan. It'll take them so long that you won't really see it happen until many years later, and by that point, they'll already have the newer versions of the superchargers that have both the CCS plug and the regular supercharger port for Teslas. I think it's great because if they go this route, they'll start out with a small amount of these, so you won't really see too many, and so you won't have so many people complaining about it, and they'll be at new locations, so people just get used to it, and it'll slowly roll out to the masses, and you'll start seeing them become a little bit more popular, but it's still new. It's not replacing the charger that you usually went to. It's a new supercharging location. So it's just bringing the capability to another location for other people. So it's going to be convenient for you because there's one that didn't exist before that exists now. And yes, other EVs can charge there, but I think right now, every supercharger location probably has, I think on average, 8 stalls. I think that's good enough for those who live in the area or those who are passing through as travelers. I think it's fine, especially for people who want to get a Rivian but don't want to leave the Tesla network, or those who are interested in getting a Ford Lightning but still want to drive around besides like being in the city.
Right.
So I see it as a great opportunity, and I think rolling it out that way would be a better option because you're not just suddenly flipping a switch and everyone gets angry. It's a slow transition, which people like slow transitions. They don't like immediate change. And I think it's the best possible outcome because there's more Tesla superchargers and other people who don't have a Tesla can use them, but it's not replacing the current ones. I think I just talked myself in a circle, but I think it's a great addition.
No, I think that's probably the best way of going about it. I mean, there's of course the Nick's mindset of just like, well, any charger that might charge not a Tesla is one more parking space that could charge my car.
Exactly. So actually, I have a good compromise after hearing both of what you guys had to say there. The people who buy other electric cars, I mean, I'm glad they're supporting the environment and stuff, so Tesla might reward them by allowing them to charge. But I think they should have to buy an adapter, either a Model 3 or a Model Y or a Model S or Model X.
I think like the only issue I could see with the adapter thing is that it doesn't fix the charging port location problem.
No. The adapter is they buy a new car.
Oh, the whole car is the adapter. I get it. I missed the joke.
That joke didn't land. That joke landed like SN11.
That joke landed like my career.
Even get your guys' opinions were so different, I didn't even get to make it to the real question. But this was a interesting discussion regardless, so I'm fine with hearing everyone's answers. I think Randy agrees with Nick as well. Randy's all in favor of just, nope, that's a Tesla thing. You buy a Tesla, you get the charging. That's all it is. But I just think like longevity wise, that's gonna sound and feel ridiculous in 50 years.
Yeah, it will.
You know?
But
you imagine...
it feels right now. Like, good. You didn't buy
You're
a
like
Tesla?
driving an EV.
Go squander it at your
country.
Electrify America charger that may or may not be working.
You know, because Tesla stopped selling cars all in favor of robotaxis, and someone who still wants to buy and drive their car is driving a Kia EV6, and they're doing a cross-country road trip in their EV, and their range is low, and they're going to die, and then they see a supercharger, and they pull off, and they try to plug in, and it says, sorry, no, you're not a Tesla, you can't charge.
But it'll give you a nice QR code to buy a Tesla.
But you can't buy one anymore because Tesla stopped selling them.
Yeah.
All robotaxis. A robotaxi will have to come pick them up.
And you'd have to wait
Tesla's solution.
5 hours for it to come because it's going to get stuck at a stoplight.
Ooh.
And not know what
You'll need to hail the Plaid robotaxi.
What if that'll be a thing?
There's no steering wheel.
That's another thing I saw the other day.
Really
I saw
fast.
the Audi RS.
Robotaxi?
Yes, the Robotaxi. I saw an Audi RS. I'm like, this is pretty cool. Talking about Plaid electric vehicles, I guess. Or at least look
pretty.
Plaid. I don't know why the Plaid Model S remind me of the Audi RS, but
Sedan.
it does look good in person.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm predicting for aerodynamic efficiency, the Robotaxi design, I have it visualized in my head. It's going to be basically chop a Model 3 in half and put the front end of it mirrored on both sides.
So VW Bug.
Not that short. It'll still be the same length of a Model 3 for crumple zone purposes. It'll still be like just to picture the frunk and the hood end of the Model 3 on both sides. So it's like glass bubble and then it molds back down to another frunk on the opposite end, and then the seats are going to be in the middle facing outward because
to ride backwards.
The half the passengers will ride backwards, the other half will go forwards. So it'll be like no display because that adds to the cost. No pedals or steering wheel, but you sit in the middle because that's the tallest point of the vehicle. So when you sit down, you want your head to have space. And if you sit in the middle, you can fit 6 passengers in like a Model 3 design because it would be like 2 second rows of a Model 3 back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no display or steering wheel to worry about, so you can push kind of the interior outward a tad. That's my visualization because they're going to want to reuse a lot of components and parts. So I don't think it's going to look super expensive or fancy. They're going to emphasize cost, but it'll no mirrors, of course, at that point.
Obviously.
But it'll be like omnidirectional, or bidirectional. It could go either way. Just like the Zoox vehicle.
Bug from like the 2000s.
The Bug's too short.
Well, it's the shape factor of a Bug, but a little bit bigger.
I think it'll look more like a Model 3 than a Bug. Just like a Model 3 hood, 2 fronts of a Model 3 stitched together. And then the suicide doors that open outward. That's my prediction.
Yeah, every time I think about the Robotaxi, I just think of Zoox. I think it's a pretty cool design, but for like, I guess the Bay Area, there's a lot of highways that you have to take. Like, if you take city streets, it's going to take you forever. And I'm sure Tesla wants at least some of these Robotaxis to use the highway. So maybe bite the bullet, go for something like an R1S that has the front half cut off and then rotate that around. So then you've got 2 R1S, 2 front ends of an R1S, but fused together. So at least it's got space for people to sit in. So that way they're not forced to really sit in the middle because at least with Zoox, you basically sit on.
You sit on the outside of a Zoox. It's just a lot less aerodynamic.
The outer edge.
The outer edge, yeah.
Not outside.
Outside the car, but you're like. It's like a jacuzzi, basically. You've got the seats around it on the inside, but that's not. It's not a very Robotaxi with a jacuzzi. You can pay an extra fee for that to hire a taxi that's got a jacuzzi on the inside.
Robotaxi Black or Premium.
Robotaxi Premium. Yeah, like The way I see it is they'll want it to be aerodynamic because they don't want it to just be for city driving. It'll go on highways and stuff. And the Model 3 is fairly aerodynamic. It's lower to the ground and not too... The Zoox is so boxy, it's going to have a lot of drag. So that's was my thought process. Is like, yeah, you could have your Zoox layout where the passengers are sitting on the outside, kind of like a Canoo almost, on the rear. But it'll probably eat into efficiency a lot, so it's likely going to be cheaper to put them in the center so that they have the headroom and they can see out the car, but...
And now they have footroom that's not touching other people's feet because they're basically back to back.
You don't have to worry about playing footsies. It'll be a little awkward because you're not facing each other.
And sometimes you're facing backward.
Right. Certain people will be going backwards in the car, but that I've also heard that's technically safer than...
I've sat in a backwards seat before, and it's kind of weird at first, but you get used to it.
Sure.
On roads and trains.
That's what Elon dropped about it at Cyber Rodeo. He's like, we're working on a Robotaxi. It's kind of weird. Doesn't look like anything else that's been ever built. He was kind of emphasizing that it would be a bizarre look. So that's my prediction.
Cyber Rodeo? I thought that was TED Talk.
I didn't watch the TED Talk, but I watched Cyber Rodeo, and I remember him specifically saying it would look weird. So I was like, okay, what would be like max efficiency in terms of like cost, aerodynamics, seating, and it's tight, but you can fit 3 in the back of a Model 3, and if you just took that same seating layout and had 2 back to back, you could fit 6 people in a vehicle about the size of a Model 3. That would be like perfect for Boring Company.
I could probably guess what Nick would want. Basically a Cybertruck, but now it's symmetrical. And you sit in the middle.
The point is in the middle. It's
my!
It's a vault on both sides.
Oh my! Oh wow! Yeah. I actually do want that.
Wait, is it the back half of the Cybertruck mirrored or the front half?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because you'll just make it like
you won't need to tow.
Or pyramid.
In the future, there won't be towing. You'll just hail a Robotaxi with a Cybertruck that's 2 vaults back to back.
You just get out of the vaults on either side. On the inside, there's
12-foot bed.
The screens also fold in. Whoa.
Just mirror vehicles. It's just 2 vaults, and you'll just look at this pyramid driving down the street. It's like this steel pyramid with vault doors on the side, and it just drives everywhere at 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. And
I think this is possible, only because, or maybe probable, just because he said for the Cybertruck it's not going to look like anything you expected.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's saying the same for the Robotaxi.
Yeah,
the pyramid's going to be real.
What doesn't look like what we expect? That's what I'm trying. One of us has to get it right. No one got the Cybertruck design right, but I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah, I think that would be funny. Like, Tesla's going to disrupt the U-Haul business by making robo-taxis specifically for moving cargo. And you just load stuff on, and then you plug in the address on your phone, and then it locks up the vault. And then, and if you're in a hurry and you want premium rush, then it'll be at a stoplight and it'll floor it. It'll do 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. All your stuff is all thrown around.
People facing backwards are like, whoa!
Oh my god.
Oh jeez.
Why are you sending me Domino's Cybertruck renders?
I was.
The license plate says Cyber Pizza. What the heck?
It's the hexagon.
It's just a triangle pizza shape when you open it. Beautiful.
I don't know. This is what you literally just search up Cybertruck. Everything pops up. You get the Warthog. You get the weird amalgamations that people came up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Final thoughts, gents.
I want the pyramid to exist now.
I want
the pyramid
as the amazing company. What company bought Dunder Mifflin? They made the pyramid.
Saber. Yeah, the Saber car.
The Saber car. That is the one.
The Saber vehicle. Yeah, it's just the triangle on the road. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Canoo. We love you.
Bye, Canoo. Bye, Canoo.
Bye, Canoo. This is the last time you'll be alive when we record a show. Bye.
I'm worried about Canoo.